Hello, hello, everybody, and good evening. Thank you for joining me again. Oh, I lost my spot. Damn me. Maybe if I undo? Nope. And I think you said you didn't hear. Okay, good. That's where I am. Perfect. Hello. Hello, Jack. Hello, Vacandice. Hello, Chaotic. Hello, Carmine. Hello, DMD. Good evening, everybody. So, full disclosure, I'm kind of dragging ass. So, I don't know what tonight's going to look like. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Sneaky. Hello, Vilberg. Hello, everybody. How are your nights going? Got anything interesting you're going to work on tonight? Anything fun going on? I really like this tune. I like it so much, I'm going to start it over. There we go. Oh, did they? What do we got going on with them? Let's see. We're Bethesda, and we don't like creating new things anymore. Anniversary edition. Is it not on Steam yet? Or is it under a different name? Same name? I'm assuming they updated it, because I see mixed reviews now on the recent stuff. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear you're less sick, DMD. Nice, on the mend. Oh, I'm sorry, but Candace. That sucks. Did they basically just update Fallout 4 when nobody asked them to? Yeah, that's what it looks like. New update broke mod support. Added nothing. Do better. You know, this kind of reminds me of when Blizzard basically gutted Warcraft 3, and I think Warcraft 2 as well. I might be misremembering that slightly. But I remember it elicited a very similar reaction. It's basically worse than the original game in every way. Huh. Oh, we're doing the creator clip shit again? How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? Boy, that's getting exhausting. Yeah, that's what it was. Warcraft 3 Reforged. I guess Warcraft 3 Unforged. Ha ha ha. Oh, well, your secret's safe with me, Vilberg. No worries. Hello, Star. Good evening. Yeah, I'm not surprised. These companies have gotten so comfortable nowadays with just releasing unfinished work. Especially Bethesda. They kind of pioneered it, because they've been doing that since the beginning. Let's not pretend Morrowind worked very well at all. None of their games ever do. They fit right in with the modern gaming landscape of unfinished games nowadays. I'm doing okay, Star. Thank you for asking. My brain's a little fried at the moment. Been kind of dragging ass. finished one of my pieces of work for the day, so now I'm working on Sundari Mech. For those of you who aren't aware, I finally landed on the title of Dynamis, so that's what I'm going to refer to it as from this point on. I know a lot of people just know it as Sundari Mech, so it might take some time for that name to stick, but I think it fits really well considering the context of the story. Yeah, I haven't really been interested in Bethesda games since... Well, let me think, actually. I liked Morrowind a lot. I did not like Oblivion, but I've grown more fond of it after everything else that came after it. Skyrim, to me, I'm gonna be real, felt like basic fantasy world. Skyrim was really boring to me. I've only ever played through the game once. I beat it and I never looked at it again. I was done after that. Fallout 3 I enjoyed. Fallout 4 I never played because I just didn't care enough about Fallout to play it. I guess Elder Scrolls Online doesn't really count. I don't know if it does or not, but I played that for a while. Had a good time with it. But yeah, Bethesda is not really... I don't really look forward to anything they put out. Because I've just gotten sick of the whole, like, oh, our games break, isn't that funny? No, it's not. Sorry. Not when I lose 30 plus hours off of a save file because your game doesn't work right. Soon Dynamic. That's a fun title. That just falls right off the tongue. That's a lot of fun. Oh, hi, Galahad. Long time no see. I'm sorry, I can't remember if you were here for last night's stream or not. My brain's just not with me right now. But I think you were here once or twice. So hi again. I'm glad you're starting on your Novel November project. Seems like a lot of people are working on that, so it's really cool to see. So, Star, I'll give you a really brief... Okay, so... Yeah, I did warn you guys that tonight might be more of like a talk and rant kind of night, so here I go. So I have a friend that I've known since college, and he is frustratingly okay with everything that I have an issue with, which normally wouldn't bother me. But I use the word frustratingly okay because he's even fine with things that should be objectively infuriating. Like, for example, if you got a game and it broke your hardware, he'd be the type to be like, damn, guess I'm gonna go buy another one. He's that kind of person. So he's the type of person who buys every single Pokemon game without waiting for any reviews because, as he says, quote unquote, they have me by the balls. So he will buy anything just because of the time sink that he's put into prior installments. And him and I were talking one day, and this was back when I was still in college. I think Skyrim had just come out, so it was on the other consoles as well. It was on PS3 and X360 and such like that. And me being experienced with Bethesda's lack of quality control, I told him to get it on PC, and he just flat out refused. I was just like, no, you don't understand. You need to get it on PC. Not because it's better on PC, strictly speaking, but because the PC version has a console command. So if something in the game borks, you can fix it yourself. You can just go into the console command and you can get yourself out of a tough situation. He didn't listen to me. So he got to a part on the PS3 version of Skyrim where you find the Elder Scroll. It's like 30-40 hours into the game, assuming you're only going through the main quest. Whatever, not important. And he was locked. The game broke and it would not progress. He couldn't get out of the room. He was stuck. He was permanently stuck. And he was the type to only make 1 or 2 save states, so he didn't have a save file before that happened. So all of that progress was just gone. And I gloated a little bit. I said, this is why I told you to get it on PC versions, because you could have just console commanded your way out of there, and you could have kept playing the game. Because Bethesda has no quality control. And he was totally fine with it. He was totally cool with just starting the game all over again. He's like, yeah, well, you know, these things just happen. That's what I mean by, like, frustratingly okay with objectively bad things. Anyways, there's one rant for the night. Let me catch up with you guys. Welcome in, Sky, by the way. I don't remember if I said that or not. You even got cheese to watch me? Galahad was not here last night. Yay! My memory did not fail me. Woo! Yeah, I agree with you, Sneaky. Like, hot take, Skyrim is very mid to me. It is extremely, extremely mid. It took a lot of the features that made Elder Scrolls games fun for me and just got rid of them. I liked Morrowind a lot. Like I said, Oblivion I grew to like more as time went on. But Oblivion I didn't really care for at first either, because it's just all meadow. It's meadow, Oblivion Gate, meadow, Oblivion Gate. Occasional dungeon. But yeah, Skyrim, when I see like how alien and fantastical like Morrowind and Oblivion scenarios can be, Skyrim just feels like you could have slapped any company's name on it and it would have done. It wouldn't have done as well. It had the Bethesda name on it. That's just personally how I feel about it. So I'm sorry if I offended anybody. Hello, Draconic. Yeah, come in. Let's chill out and have some fun for the night. That's funny. Yeah, Galahad, I feel that way with FromSoft as well. I feel like games like AI Limit, Code Vein, or especially Liza P. I feel like if you slapped FromSoft's name on there, people would have been like, oh my god, this is so good. But because it's not made by them, they're like, it just doesn't have that FromSoft magic, and that bothers me. You were lucky, Sky. I played Skyrim on Xbox, on my friend's Xbox, and I don't know whether to use the term soft locked or hard locked, but I'll say hard locked. But I hard locked 3 of my saves just because the game broke and didn't know how to keep continuing the story. Some quests actually broke to the point where I could still explore the open world, but the main quest could no longer be progressed. So there was literally no way to keep going. Hello, Retro. Welcome in. Yeah, actually, on that same note, I know a lot of you like New Vegas, and I can see why. Like, the storytelling is top-notch. It's really, really good. I have no criticisms for the story, really. It's very good work. The game does run like garbage, which is expected of Bethesda titles. So yes, New Vegas was extremely frustrating to play for a little bit. And sure enough, I found myself locked in a cutscene because I accidentally messed up one of my saves. I was having a really good time, so I kind of trusted the system to keep working, and of course, as I start to trust it, that's when it breaks. And I remember spending at least an hour or two trying to find some sort of console command to break the scene so that I could get out. And thankfully, I was able to find it. But if that had happened on console, oh, I would have been fucked. I wouldn't be able to get out of that. Yeah, I liked Open Morrowind for a bit. I stopped playing with Open Morrowind when I started doing the what was it? The Solstheim, I think it was. It's the icy area. Yeah, I think it was Solstheim. I think that's what it was called. A lot of the models were breaking, and I didn't care enough to go back and figure out which mods it was that was breaking all of the snow and terrain, so I gave up at that point. Oh, Galahad meant... Oh, you meant that FromSoft as you buy the balls. Gotcha. That's what you meant. Well, that's very honest of you. I do the Valley Girl thing really well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Lynx tells me the same thing. I like Code Vein. Code Vein's really good. The system is different enough, and the spells unique enough that I feel like you can get more player expression than you can out of most FromSoft games. There are some exceptions with FromSoft games, but that's, for the most part, I think Code Vein is better in that area. The only thing, one of the things that bothered me about Code Vein though is that it's structured like a lot of hallways. A lot of the areas really feel like you're just walking through a series of hallways and finding does not open from this side doors a lot, which is really aggravating. I hope I don't ignite any arguments with my hot takes. Hi, Book. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the love. Really appreciate it. Yeah, full disclosure, I was just telling them that I'm kind of dragging ass tonight, so I don't know what tonight's going to look like. So I might just end up talking to you guys. I'm on a little bit of a miniature rant. Yeah, and the thing is too, the New Vegas that I was playing was already heavily modded with like all the community patches and all the stuff that was supposed to fix a lot of the bugs and glitches, and for the most part it did. Like, I ran into very few problems, but still, occasionally I would run into something that broke, and I'm just like, yep, there it is. There's that typical breaking magic that they're so damn good at. It's frustrating, and I'm not like pointing fingers at any particular person or company. Like, I don't care about the specifics. It's under Bethesda's name, and it's the Fallout brand, so it just feels like the natural way of things if it doesn't work right. Don't care about the details. Just frustrated that it didn't work very well. Oh man, the Candace. So, me and my best friend at the time had already played through Final Fantasy VII, but my brother never had. And we finally convinced him to go through it when we were kids. And he spent so much time at the Gold Saucer getting her ultimate weapon, really boosting her up and getting everything maxed and completed on her, on Eris. And me and him are just sitting there looking at each other like, should we tell him? Or he quit after she got stabbed for a little bit. I think it took him a good week or two before he came back to the game. I felt so bad for him. I had a good time with Monster Sanctuary when it first came out. I dumped like, oh my god, like 80 hours into it. Let me see. I had a really nice time with it. Let's see, Monster Sanctuary. Yeah, 83.3 hours. One friend who has played recently, Sneaky. Yeah, I had a really good time with this game. I thought it was fun. Oh, Bali and Rappy having a good time. Thank you, Chaotic. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think also I had just a little bit too much caffeine and sugar today because I'm like getting pain where I had teeth work done, and my brain just has that kind of like sparkly feel to it, if that makes sense. Thanks, Book. Yeah, I've always considered myself a fairly reserved person. I'm totally willing to shoot the shit, but I also worry that my opinions might upset some people. I have some very hot takes. Yeah, I'll hang out for a bit. My kids in the shower. No eating grocery store sushi. I did play Dot Hack actually. So I tried going back to Dot Hack like a month or two ago because I was like, hey, you know what? I never beat that game, and I always remembered it as like coming out at the same time as Xenosaga, and a lot of people being like, oh, did you play Xenosaga or did you play Dot Hack? And I was the one who played Xenosaga. I have all 3 Xenosaga games, just for reference. I really love that series. And I played Dot Hack, and I could not get into it. It felt very... I get that it was trying to replicate the online MMO experience, but I felt like without the online friend experience, it was very weak. It felt very bare bones to me. That was my experience. And I went back to it again, like I said, like a month or two ago, and I tried to give it another shot. I got about 10-15 hours in, and it wasn't holding me. Yeah, it just didn't grip me the way I hoped it would. Because I owned the first game, but I didn't ever get the other ones. I'm really glad you're getting ready to write, Chaotic. If you need any sprint timers, let me know. I'll be happy to start one for you. No worries, Star. Hope you're having a good time. Sad commission news. New artists that went on VGen messed up setting up their account. As such, they have the do's and don'ts part of their TOS only listed under the part commission. Clicked on. Didn't know they don't draw male characters. Oh, they don't draw male characters. That sucks. Yeah, that's always really frustrating when you find out that the artist doesn't draw male characters. That has unfortunately become pretty commonplace. Women rule when it comes to art commissions. That's just straight up facts. Every other artist, in fact, that I've run into seems like they don't draw men. I am so sorry, Vicandace. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts the first time you see that. It's a real bummer. Sky is always upset. Yeah, I could believe that. I liked Hack a lot, Retro. Like, I really, really wanted to like it. It just looked really good, and the character designs were super appealing, and I liked this premise. Exactly like you said, it did the Sword Art Online thing before Sword Art Online did. I really liked the whole, like, you know, the game could actually trap you, or it was causing people to go to the hospital, things like that. I thought the premise was really, really cool. And yeah, I think the story got me, but the gameplay wasn't enough to keep me going. It felt like I would solve a lot of situations the same way. I think I would have been a lot more interested in it if I had the option to play different types of characters instead of just being stuck with God, what's his name? Is his name Kite? The main character you play as, because yeah, he's got like the 2 swords or something. You say something? Kite. Link's helping me out. So if I could play more like one of the other characters, in fact, like, I remember I started playing as, and I started looking up, hey, is it possible to play as one of the other characters? And it's like, no, you have to play as Kite. All you can do is just tell them what to do. I would have liked to have a great sword or bow or play a spellcaster. I think the game would have kept me better if I could do that. Oh, well, at least you got some Saris art, Jack. That's a plus, at least. Anime titties sell very, very well. The artists are well aware of this. Were you talking to me, Retro? Like, did I try the anime? I did watch the anime for a little bit. I watched like 2-3 episodes, if I remember correctly. And then I stopped, and I can't remember why I did. Unless you're talking about Sword Art Online. I don't know. Book. A lot of people don't draw male characters because they like drawing women more, because they're more attractive. They pull people in easier. Which, hilariously enough, though, has actually turned around a little bit. I've actually been seeing more and more people be like, but I have a guy character I need drawn. So, actually, Shira Valkyrie. Oh my god, I love Shira. Shira draws incredible men. Let me see, I gotta make sure I don't get myself banned here by showing something I shouldn't. But I absolutely love the way she does men. I had her do Ryuk for me way back. And she nailed it. She nailed his personality, she nailed the effects, his outfit, everything. Pretty sure this is my favorite piece of him, honestly. She is damn good at what she does. Yeah, that's a good word for it, Retro. Yeah, it was just kind of repetitive. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like the other games that followed after the first one, they all basically play the same way. Whereas like when I was playing Xenosaga, each of the games changed and switched things up a bit. None of the combat systems were the same. Though I gotta say, every one of Xenosaga's combat systems were pretty tight. Even if the second game wasn't that great. Yeah, she's just lying down. She's trying to relax, let her brain defragment. She's had a rough day. Find the love in deep space crowd. I know I should know. Did you guys hear that? She's just like, no. Oh, that's that. Okay, that's that one. All right, no, I know which one that is now. Yeah. Different skill set book. My experience, though, has been that if a person's portfolio is filled with mostly girls, there's a good chance that they're not going to draw pets, men, or anything metallic, I've noticed. Usually they're pretty confined to just the female sex, and that's it. That's usually how that goes. Because I've tried to have some of them draw armor, or draw machines, or get a couple, like a man and a woman in the picture, and they'll refuse it. I'd say about anywhere between 30% to 50% of the time. They found something that worked for them, so that's what they prefer to draw. Takes a different skill set. Yeah. Me, Lynx, and Sky hold on to any artist we can find who draws men. We're like, oh, keep him. He does good men. So we cling to an artist anytime we find out they draw men. Rock and Paul, I want to say. Paul and Rock do fantastic men. And Paul is actually... I'm gonna actually show you guys super quick. Did Carl for Sundari Mech. And he turned out great. I was very, very happy with it. Just scroll down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he got all the fun details. I like how tight the outfit is. I like that he put these rings around where the machines are meant to connect in. He even got his little earring. Everything about it is just perfect. I loved how it turned out. Yeah, Paul does a fantastic job. And his price is extremely kind. I honestly think he could afford to charge more. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna see any jokes tonight. It's gonna go right over my head. Yeah, Sky, that is so frustrating. I fear trying to find somebody who can draw Lorelei, which is a witch hunter in my necromancer story right now. And she wears armor. And naturally, of course, I'm also worried about Sundari Mecha because it's got a lot of mecha, and I want somebody to be able to draw the mechs, you know, not just the characters. And I'm just sitting here like, oh god, oh god, oh god. We gotta find somebody who's gonna be willing to draw this stuff. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, go ahead. Like, Shira, thankfully, was willing to draw armor. So I had her get Sam in armor. I don't know if I showed you or if you've seen it or not, but I'll show it off real quick. But even like, and to me, this isn't super complex. This is actually on the simpler side of things. But she was willing to draw this, whereas a lot of artists would not. Finding somebody who's willing to draw armor is really tough. Really, really tough. yeah, I would love to get more art from Paul. I really, really would. I might reach out to him for Ristle. Ristle's in the conceptual stage still. But the artist is doing a great job. Oh, yeah, I gotta like, just only send him. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, Paul does armor. But absolutely, I prefer to send him only men. Because he is really damn good at it. But yeah, Lorelei is my hot lady knight. Redhead witch hunter. I think she'll be very popular. Yeah. Yeah, it's true, Sky. In fact, actually, like, you know, I've wanted a piece with Sam in her armor for such a long time. So, but nobody was willing to do it. That's why I ended up like getting pieces like this. You know, where they don't really have to worry so much about getting plate and other complex things. It's much easier. But I'm glad Shira was willing to do it. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, you like that, Draconic? I got plenty more. Sam is one of my OG original characters. She is my pride and joy. I love her so much. She's from another series that I will one day get on board called Drive. And she's just looking to have fun. She's a wonderful, wonderful character. This guy over here like, oh no, Rye's making a redhead, and I'm just like smiling. I can't say anything. Yeah, right? I'm sitting here just like having so much fun with her. I changed how silver and steel work in the world of Necromancer. Something that usually bothers me about magic systems and a lot of stories is that it kind of invalidates the use of melee combat, or at least traditional weapon combat. And I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want that to be a thing. I wanted the magic to be very complex, very difficult to use. Very few people can use it. And the materials in the world respond to magic in different ways. Like, for instance, in Necromancer, steel cannot absorb magic. It simply deflects it. So you can actually use steel weapons to block spells, and the weapon won't be harmed. So they actually work as kind of like an anti-magic weapon. Sorry, Chaotic, I completely skipped. Yes, oh my god. Do what, please? Do what? And thank you so much, Chaotic. Yeah, Sam she's very near and dear to my heart. Extremely dear. And I love the little cheat that Dawn did. It's so stinking cute. I love that it actually sees you in the Discord. Oh, commission art from Paul for Ristle. Absolutely, I will. Yeah, when Ristle's concept is finally complete, yeah, I will absolutely do that. you commission art for your stories, do you have a rough sketch for them, or is it all through your descriptions? It depends on the artist. So some artists that I've talked to, they want me to already have the character conceptualized. So they want a reference to work from. Some artists that I've talked to are totally fine with conceptualizing the character from the ground up, so long as I send them references of what I want. So I'll usually just Google a whole bunch of images, like what they wear, what their hairstyle looks like, their eye color, if they have any accessories like earrings or piercings or tattoos, anything like that. And then I'll send that to the artist and they just kind of work from there. That's usually how we go. But yeah, to answer your question, it depends on the artist. Some of them are totally okay with it and some of them aren't. Well, hello, Hand. Glad to see you again. Yeah, exactly what Chaotic said. Usually I find that most artists are very appreciative if you come to them with a reference sheet, basically a bunch of images that they can pull from, so that they can get a good idea that way. I remember I did something similar to that, actually, now that she mentioned it. I'll show you guys super quick. This is another character called Yakra, and he's also one of my OG original characters. And this was the first sketch that somebody sent me, and I just basically said, hey, I sent them some images and I told them what I wanted to see and what his personality was like. And this is what they came back with. And this needed a lot of work because this was very, very far from what I wanted. And then I had to make adjustments. And then he turned out like this instead, which was way, way more in line with his personality. I really, really love how the artist drew him. This piece is really old, like almost 15 years old at this point. But this is one of my favorite pieces of him. Yes, Sneaky, actually. A steel shield would be a very powerful anti-mage tool. It absolutely would be. In a similar vein, though, silver can hold magic. It can take magic in. So it makes, it creates opportunities for those who know how to use magic and a blade to have, like, say, for example, a silver sword and use the silver sword to incorporate their magic. Yeah, because I wanted all the materials that exist in the world, all the metals, all the woods, the plants, the animals. I wanted all of it to kind of coalesce together with the magic. I don't want it to just be like, oh, magic exists, so all these things exist. All these, weapon arts exist, despite the fact that magic just trumps all of it. To me, that just never made sense. Like, from a humanistic standpoint, humans are going to lean into whatever helps them survive, whatever helps them not die. If that's what it's going to do, they're going to do it, regardless of what that method may look like. So I wanted there to be a reason swords exist, why spears exist, shields, armor, and such like that, instead of it just being like, oh, they're there. Yeah, they're dismantled by the mage within seconds, but they're there. No, I don't like that. I want the melee combatants to also feel important. Yeah, pretty much DMG. Yeah, exactly how, like, silver is supposed to be anti-monster, anti-fey. Yeah, I wanted... And in that same vein, steel is actually extremely valuable in the world of Necromancer because iron only has some of those properties. So you have to refine it to steel if you want it to be able to deflect magic properly. An iron sword's not going to get you very far. So blacksmiths are a little bit more important for that. The old-timey explanation is that mirrors reflect the soul, which vampires lack. The silver thing is more modern, if I remember correctly. I'm just gonna say that you're correct. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough about folklore as far as like werewolves and vampires and other mythical creatures are concerned as to whether or not silver is more of a modern thing. For what it's worth in my story, silver doesn't act like that with those kinds of creatures. It simply adheres to magic. It pulls it in. So for that reason, silver can be very dangerous. There's actually several merchants in my story where the coins are made of silver, like the money, and they won't accept silver coins because they don't like the idea that it could have been tampered with as far as magic is concerned. So merchants trade through copper and bronze instead. Excuse me. Hello, Chocobo. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit more, Sneaky, where the magic is... It's powerful, but it requires proper preparation. It requires good hands, a good mind. It's something you have to be very careful with. Yeah, chaotic's a sin for vampires. Anything dark fantasy, really. Okay, I'm gonna put on a quick 3-minute break. I'm just gonna get up, stretch, use the restroom, and I'll be right back. What did I miss? Have fun, Vicandis. Yeah, but I wasn't gone for long. Classify something as sci-fi. Man, I don't even know anymore. If I'm being totally honest with you, Chaotic. To me, sci-fi, but I'll give you my interpretation of sci-fi, all right? I would not strictly call Star Wars sci-fi. I would call it fantasy in space. That's what I would call it. I would call Star Trek, the old Star Treks, not the new bloom-riddled bullshit that comes out now. No, old Star Treks, like the one from the 60s and Next Generation. I would classify those as sci-fi. Space operas, yes, but still sci-fi. I would consider... Let's see... like I said, I've got a... My brain is fried tonight, so I can't come up with anything like right on the spot. But my interpretation of sci-fi is if the technology... Mass Effect. The Mass Effect games. Those are sci-fi to me. If the technology and the advancement of said technologies is a driving focal point for why the story transpires. That's what I would say. That's the best way I can think to describe it. Yeah, Sky, I've talked to a lot of people about, what classifies as sci-fi? And I've actually heard several differing opinions on the matter. So, again, to me, it's more about, like, does the technology play a very strong narrative point for the story? If I took the technology out of it, would the story still function? If not, then it's sci-fi. Like, for example, in Mass Effect, a big part of the story and why it occurs is because of the Mass Effect relays, which are these huge relays out in the middle of space which allow you to travel from distant star systems to another. So that's very sci-fi to me. Yeah, I would consider Firefly. Thank you, Sneaky. Yes. Firefly is hard sci-fi. Absolutely it is. That's what I would consider. Because, and it sticks to exactly what I said before. The technology and the way of life is determined very heavily, very strongly by the technology. You know, it's very futuristic. In a sort of old cowboy sort of way. Yeah, I agree, Sneaky. Like, I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, this is sci-fi because there's spaceships. Okay, so what? The specifics of the technology don't play any real importance to the story beyond just the Death Star occasionally blowing up a planet. That's it. And even then, they don't get into the whole technology of it all, you know? Exactly like you said, it's more about the Force. It's more about good versus evil. It's actually just a traditional hero's journey in space. That's all it is. The swords are replaced with lightsabers. You got your old mentor character. Like, the technology's not important. So, I'll be totally honest. Hand brings up a good point that I would like to talk about very briefly. I say briefly, but we'll see how that goes. Isekai is very easy to write. Very, very easy. And I'll say, and the reason why it's easy to write is because you provide a very, very convenient excuse for the main character to constantly ask questions. Exactly like he said, a fish out of water. So you have plenty of opportunities to be like, oh, how does this work? Oh, I didn't know that. What do you mean this culture's like that? What is your religion like? What do you mean I have to increase my stats? What is a stat? Because the world is so unlike their own that they have plenty of excuses to ask why this works, why this doesn't work, why are things the way they are. Whereas if you're trying to write a story where everybody was within the same world, that gets a little tougher because you have to find a good middle ground between exposition and letting your characters talk to reveal points about the world to the reader. That's a lot harder to do when it's characters in a pre-established world. Yeah, what Han said, any idea can work. It's all about execution. It is literally all execution. Any idea can work. You can spin it in so many ways. You can spin it into a comedy.
You're fucking bored in Cat Girl world.
I'll tell you how our idea for Everyone's a Cat Girl started. Lynx had a few glasses of wine that evening, was frustrated with how much money people were making over Isekai, and was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna send some 20-year-old normal guy to Cat Girl world, and it's gonna be shaped like a cat's paw. And we took it from there. So, don't get too hung up over the idea of, oh, does this idea work? It works. It's just execution. And you'll get better at execution as you get more practice. You'll start to understand, like, where you don't have to explain things, where you do, and how to put just the right amount of intrigue, twist, or comedy on certain sections to keep your reader invested. Yeah, Sky, I actually kind of like in media res. I find that I like a lot of stories that are like that, where the character has already been there for a little while and you're kind of just jumping right into the middle of something. Those are actually a lot of fun to me. Yeah, Candace isn't wrong. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but unfortunately a lot of isekai is like that. It's pretty cookie cutter. It is generally just wish fulfillment. Lynx and I were actually really surprised that a lot of people who read this kind of material want everything explained up front. They want to know exactly how the system works, how all the points work, what the religion works like. They want to see the character solve everything without any issue. They want to see them solve every problem. And that kind of surprised us because that's just not what traditional writing is like. And that's not what we want to write. So that's why Cat Girls kind of sticks out when compared to the other stuff. Not necessarily in a bad way, but we also understand that, you know, it kind of breaks the mold a little bit, so it takes a certain kind of taste to I don't want to say appreciate it. That sounds kind of full of myself. I want to say, you know, it's not for everybody, is what I'm saying. Yeah, Star. See, that's an easy way too. Like if you have a character who's exploring something else or some other land that they're not familiar with, it gives them an opportunity, it gives them an excuse to ask questions so that, exactly like you said, they learn things alongside the reader. I'll say the same thing I always say. Hand pretty much covered it, but just the best thing you can do to write is to just write. Take whatever idea you have and just write it. Will you like it? Probably not. But if you do, great. And you can only get more experience by doing that. You don't really lose anything from doing it. Yeah, DMD. It kind of depends on your character. It's gonna depend highly on just how they approach situations. You could make the excuse that that they know a lot of this stuff just because they come from a sci-fi world, so they have the advantage of having the internet or a huge encyclopedia of information available to them, so they can see how other cultures, other races, other civilizations built up over thousands of years. So yeah, lots of options. Okay, yeah, I'll start a sprint timer for you guys. I will. You know what? I'm gonna work with you guys because there are some things I do really need to take care of in Dynamis. I did note a plot hole that needs some taking care of. So yeah, let's get to it. I'll talk to you guys in 20. Let's focus. Shh. No, I didn't find anything, Sky. Shh. Well, that's too damn bad. You're welcome for that. Okay, how did everybody do? Okay, so yeah, there's a dash between. Oh! Hello, sweet Oreo. Thank you so much for the subscription. Sweet Oreo, sweet Oreo. No, you're right. I have no idea who you are. But thank you all the same. That is very, very thoughtful of you. Oh, you got a little over 700 words? Nicely done, hand. Damn. Good job. Spiced cider. I like spiced cider. Yeah, that's good stuff. Vincent! Oh, long time no see. It is so good to see you. And now I have to get used to calling you Sweet Oreo and remember to put the two people together. It is so good to see you again. Welcome back. Good job on cleaning your desk, Sky. I have to clean up mine a little bit too. It's mostly just dusty. Everything's arranged properly, but... You found a CD of Roller Coaster Tycoon? Wow. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is my childhood. That was like my go-to PC game. I was reading the best book in the world and I want to hug and kill a girl all at the same time. That's funny. I've been good. Thank you so much. Today I was kind of dragging ass. I'm starting to finally kick back into gear. But yeah, today's been kind of a fizzled out day. Alright, you take care, hand. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Talk to you soon. Raven has arrived. Hello, Raven. I have piles of junk like a foot high. Oh god. Well, I'm glad you cleaned it up then. Sitting at writer's block for a while. I get that. If you're ever sitting in writer's block, like, I'm assuming in writer's block for a particular story, if you're ever sitting in writer's block, move over to something else to kind of just rekindle your brain for a little bit. And don't stick in that new story, don't stick in that new idea, just get words down to kind of get the ideas flowing, get the juices going. Chapter 34, that is the one chapter that Raven and I always remember. Exactly as she called her. The Gatekeeper. Yep. We often joke that if you can make it past that chapter, you can read the rest of the stories. Yeah, it's a turning point for Matt, for sure. The numbers, not so much. I struggle to remember which events happened with what numbers, but I do recall most of the events in almost crystal clear clarity. Most. Do not quote me on that. Gotcha. Well, in any event, it's good to see you again, Vincent. I'm just gonna start calling you, you Oreo to make it easier on the chat. But you'll still have the Vincent name in my head. Thank you for the hydrate. Actually, I am short on water, so I'll be back. I'm just gonna refill my glass. I return. Thank you for the hydrate. Excuse me. Okay, you take care, Oreo. Thank you for tuning in again. Yeah, we lost a lot of readers on 34. We're kind of glad we did, though. As weird as it sounds to hear that. Because we do feel like if you can get past that and understand the nuance and complexity of the situation, and you want to see Matt grow as a person after that, then you'll be in for a real treat, because the world just gets more complex and more nuanced as time goes on. But if that's what sends you, and you're like, nope, I'm done with this, then yeah, you probably weren't going to enjoy the rest of the story. That usually tells me that you might have a gentler stomach. You might not have the stomach for this sort of thing. You know, I never noticed that, Sky, but now that you mention it, you're right. Usually in a lot of these, they do get one ass kicking, but then after that, smooth sailing. Never get their ass kicked again. I gotta get stronger. I'll never let that happen again. Something like that. And then, yeah, they're OP. Yeah. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, there are plenty of, you know, hard-hitting moments even in the first book, but they all pale in comparison to 34. Yeah, pretty much DMD. Yeah. Rappy angry that ball is eating out of his dish. Hello, Woo. Welcome in. Yeah, pretty much what Sky said. That's almost point for point exactly what happened. Not bad. Chaotic kicked me in the butt and forced me to work for a little bit. Thank you, Chaotic. Appreciate you. Otherwise, I've spent pretty much the last hour kind of just talking and ranting. It's been one of those days where it's been hard to form coherent sentences and get my brain going. I got that kind of like sparkly feeling in my brain. I think it's just from too much caffeine today. But I'm finally coming down from it, so I'm feeling a lot better. Excuse me. Yay! Freedom for Carmine! Glad you came. Alright, Chaotic got me in a good mood. So I'm gonna start another 20 minutes run. Anybody who's writing for Novel November, or my voice cracked, or just working on anything in general, feel free to join me. Otherwise, I will talk to you in 20. Oh, Carmine, you just missed me ranting and raving for an hour of stupid games. So, but now I'm breaking in and working. So I'm gonna spend these next 20 minutes writing more Dynamis. So I will talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, sprint up. How did everybody do? Oh, hi, King. Welcome in. Thank you. Oh, gremlin mode. Hang on. It's been a while. Hope everybody's getting some good words down. Reached a point in the story where I finally have an excuse to explain how some things work and why some things are not being used. Feels good. Nice! Reward yourself, yeah. Oof. I am so sorry, Carmine. That's... dang. You need a day off, buddy. That's right, Sky. This is my favorite part. This is a world-building opportunity. I am very excited to talk about this, because I have not talked about this at all, and I'm sure it's a question many people will have going into the story. So I am finally answering that question. Cool. Glad to hear it, DMD. Just power through it. You got this. Until Thanksgiving. You have to go that many days without any days off? Can you not find one day? Because, man, when does Thanksgiving happen this year? Let's see.
The
27th? 2 weeks, no
Probably
days
between
off?
School and work, yeah.
Jeez. I have mad respect for you, Carmine, but I do want to like rip you out of your house and just let you relax for a week. That's rough. Oh yeah, I know that feeling, King. I am intimately familiar with that feeling. You just pull open the story, it's been like a few weeks, like, where the hell was I? I don't even remember what I was thinking. But yeah, you got this. You can do it. That's all you get, Carmine? Oh my god. I take it back, you don't need a week off, you need a month off. Even I get a day off occasionally. Yeah, but shit. I'm doing what I love? So that makes it okay? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, it's Carmine, but in case you are not being sarcastic, you know, if it works for you, great. I just want to see you relax. Alright, King, take it easy. Enjoy your lunch. "29 days off a year. That's not bad.
That's really good. It's a whole month in addition to
Yeah.
weekends.
That's pretty good. I like that. Trying to remember how many PTO hours I had by the time I quit my last job. I want to say they gave me like 180 or so. It was quite a lot. I had racked up quite a lot. $40 sounds about right, especially if it's like, if you haven't been there very long. I think my last job started me at 70, 80, but it was a full-time position and it was for an insurance company, so they started people off pretty chunky. Okay, so then noted. Staples sucks. You heard it here. I still can't forgive them for how you got the short end of the stick on that. Well, I'm sure there were plenty of good people there. I didn't like my last job at all, at least towards the latter half, but there were a lot of supervisors and coworkers that I very, very, very am glad that I met. Chaotic, actually, I met at my last job. So suffering through that job just to meet her was worth it alone. Trauma bonded. Pretty much, yeah. Boy, it really helped get through the day. For giving someone a cup of water. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I thought in Arizona, like if somebody asks for water, you have to give them water.
Yeah.
Are you joking? It has to be over. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Over a single degree? Are you fucking kidding me? That's asinine. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. Oh my god. I think that tops anything I've ever heard for yeah, I think that's the most ridiculous reason I've ever heard of a person getting
Yeah, I think that
fired.
wins.
I can't think of anything that tops that. How'd you get fired? I gave somebody a cup of water. I would love to see that. Yeah, if you're comfortable sharing that in like pics and videos, feel free. Yeah, I agree with Sky. At that point, they're already looking to fire you. I think you said that already too, DMD. So it's just such a ridiculous reason to get let go. Yeah, feel free to upload it to pics and videos. I'm super curious. They want us to be loyal to companies. Okay. Yeah, Sneaky, that feels targeted. Hyper targeted. Give Mama lots of pets. Tell her that Rai said she should be more considerate of what you have to do. You have to go do human things. Excuse me. Let's see, aircraft will show out the skies. He's wrong. Let's see. Years ago, we still in humanity. Yeah, I know, I'd be furious if I were in your shoes. So I totally understand. I get that. I can only imagine how that feels. Alright. I think I'm reaching the end of my rope. I want to keep working, but I also need to eat. And I think this is a good time to call it anyway. Sorry, I was just distracted by the message. Where was I? Oh, I'm gonna go eat, and then I'm probably gonna jump back into this, but I am gonna go ahead and cut the stream here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope streaming for 2 nights in a row makes up for me cutting it earlier last night. You guys all have a lovely evening. I will talk to you guys on Discord. I will be streaming every week on Monday. I'm gonna make this more of a concrete sort of thing. So you can expect to see me every Monday. But please be safe. Please take care of yourselves. Have a good night. And I will talk to you soon. I am having vodka chicken with penne pasta. It's leftovers from last night. It's gonna be delicious. Take it easy, guys. Have a lovely evening.